Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, we're going to go over the recap of the first week of Limiteds returning at Roblox. Let's see how this started. So they've recently just decided over the last week to make older Roblox items limited once again, like they did in years past, but now they actually brought back that feature instead of just making sponsored items limited. And I think this is a great choice by Roblox. This has made the community very happy, and it's something that I hope continues on because this makes old favorites available once again. It doesn't really take away from UGC because they aren't new items, they're just becoming available once again. So I definitely see this as a positive and something that I hope continues. But let's start off with the first one, which was on the Friday, and it was Sentai S right over here. And basically what I'm going to do is going to go over all the 7 items that ended up going limited in the last week and say how they might do in the future and maybe what else in the future we might be getting. So once again, Sentai S was the first one to go limited. If you look at the price chart right over here, it started off at around 80,000, 90,000. It was very hyped because once again, nobody really expected this to happen. So obviously it's going to be much higher as it's a pretty big event for the catalog community. But right now it has stabilized a bit around 40,000. You can see this price is pretty steady increase. So I think definitely it's going to average at around 40,000. The average price right now is a bit high because of the first initial sales, which are very high still. So it might take a few days before it does round out to where it is right now. But it's a great item. I don't think it's going to do amazing over time as it is one of those holiday items that really people only wear during a specific holiday, which is Halloween. So around October is when I think it will do really well. But when it is in October, I really don't see it that common to see people trying to get this during spring or like summer. But it's still a nice item. I think it's definitely going to be traded around pretty often. It does have 10,000 owners, so it's definitely not a rare thing. It's a nice pick up if you are a fan of the Sinister series, and hopefully they do make some more of these limited in the future. And the next item to go limited was Tentacles Jr. Happened on the same day, very late that Friday, and they decided to make it limited. This one is doing a bit better than the Sinister is. This one stabilized at around 50,000. It once again started off pretty high due to the hype, but right over here has stabilized at around 50,000. So it is a bit more desirable, I think, than the Sinister series, and also these squid items are more neutral to whatever holiday may be going around. So these could be more year round, and it looks pretty nice as less owners, so that definitely also looks like a benefit of this item. So if you had to choose between this and a Sinister, I'd probably choose this one as it has more potential, but it's definitely a great looking item if you do want to get either of them. And the third one they chose to go limited was the Poison Horns of the Toxic Wasteland. This is a pretty great one. It's probably was one of the most desired items to go limited in the last recent years since it released. The Fiery Horns series is a very popular series. The orange and blue one doing extremely well right now, have increased a high amount over the last few years, and this one will probably do the same. These are obviously not going to do as well as the 2 originals since they are more recent and they do have more owners, but not by a lot, but they do have more owners, so that will definitely affect it. So I don't think purple and green are going to be as sought after as maybe like the reddish, yellow, and the blue the other 2 do have, but I still think it's going to be very desirable. These effect items definitely do well over time, and just looking at the chart right over here, it started off pretty high, which is going to be the trend for a lot of these. It's going to start off pretty high and then it's going to stabilize at a different price. So right over here, see that this one is stabilizing at around 300,000. So it's a pretty good profit from the original 10,000 that people bought it for. It's around 30 times more than it originally started off at. So that's a pretty good increase in profit. And yeah, I can definitely see this one doing pretty well over time. So definitely if you have the money for it and you've really been wanting to get it, definitely try to get it before it does increase in the upcoming months. The next wave were these 3 maker items: a Maker Fedora, Maker Wrench Pack, and the Bay Area Maker Top Hat. These all went limited at around the same time. They were all available as a part of this fair that Roblox hosted in person where you could redeem a code, and they haven't had a fair like this in a couple of years, so it's unfortunate you can't really get these types of items anymore, but they decided to make 3 of them limited to be able to get. The first one over here, Maker Fedora, this one's a pretty cool one. I definitely don't think it's as desirable as maybe other fedoras. It probably looks too unique and may not fit well with too many different items, but I think it's definitely going to stabilize at this couple 100,000 range. It is a rare item and it doesn't seem like there are many sellers, so it will definitely be stable at a pretty high price. So I don't think it's going to be increasing much as it just went limited and it still doesn't have that much hype around it, so definitely will take a while before it does see some traction, but definitely a nice choice if you are a fan of it. Next up is the Maker Wrench Pack. This one is also a pretty interesting one. It doesn't have that aesthetic that people would really want to go for, a wrench pack, so that might be a bit tricky if you do want to see this item go up over time. It might take a while for that to happen. It is the most common of the 3 items, so it is going to naturally be the cheapest of the 3. It sold when it first went limited, pretty low prices, 25,000, which I think was the first sale. It has stabilized at around 70,000 and 80,000 Robux. The average price is catching up to where it is right now, but it might take a few days before it does that once again. But it's definitely a nice looking wrench pack. It probably won't be high in demand and probably will get forgotten over time, which is unfortunate, but if you are a fan of it, it probably won't be too hard to obtain. And the last of the 3, which I think has the most potential currently, is the Bay Area Maker Top at 2014. It has sold twice in the last day. The first one being 242,000, and the other one being just below that by a few thousand, but still pretty close. It's a nice looking top hat, and it definitely resembles a lot of the rare top hats that are currently pretty expensive right now. And even though it has a bit more sales than the fedora, I think this is where looks play a part in it, because I think a lot of people are going to be looking for this one more than the fedora. So if you are looking to get either the fedora or the top hat, I think for a short term more increase, I think this one would definitely be one to go for. And the last one, which did go limited right today, is the Friday the 13th top hat. This one's a bit hard to tell what is going to happen to it because it has just been a few hours since the first one limited. But over here it's kind of stabilizing at around 10,000, selling just a bit below that a couple of times, so it dropped a bit more, but over time I definitely see this at around 10,000, 15,000 price and a semi-demand item. I don't think it's going to be high demand, because it is one of those items that it's a specific holiday, so if it isn't that holiday, it might not match well with other things, but it is a nice top hat alternative. It's a very unique style of hot top hat, as it's very narrow in the middle and it goes up pretty high, so that might be an aesthetic that maybe people are looking for, but it's still nice and definitely a nice thing to have gotten, and it's a nice traditional item, so people are definitely going to see the nostalgia when they see this item. So overall, this I think was a great event to happen in the last week. I don't think anybody was really expecting this to happen anytime soon, and the fact that it did happen is such a great thing. Hopefully they do continue this with more limiteds coming out in the future, and they continue with these great choices. They have some very popular items that people have wanted, they have some pretty rare items people have wanted, and they have a nice traditional item that win limit as well. So a good mix of items. Hopefully they expand a bit more, maybe make some faces, some gears limited, even though gears might be a pretty tough subject since a lot of them are broken, but we'll see what they do in the future. But for now, I will definitely be making more of the daily uploads whenever they do make a new limited, and I will also make the weekly recaps whenever they do finish out the week with those limiteds. Yeah, that is pretty much just it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.